The woman, the mother who lost her life in Minnesota, is unfortunate, but here's the question: why was she out there to begin with? Before we even get to the video and what happened, let's talk about prior to the incident. Why was she not at home with her children? Instead, she was motivated by the Democrats who are constantly telling these folks every day, anytime you see ICE agents, go impede on their investigations, go block them, go stop them, go get guns and defend yourselves against them. Because what they're doing is wrong, even though congressmen hired them to do it, is to make sure that they get rid of illegal immigrants in our country. That is their job. That's what they were hired to do. And it's not your job or your business as a civilian to get in the way of that. It's funny how more civilians are getting hurt than illegal migrants getting deported and detained. Because y'all keep getting involved and not minding your fucking business. Go to work. Watch your fucking kids. You can't afford to be out there trying to start a revolution when you got mouths to feed. ICE agents are doing what they are supposed to be doing in our country, what they have been doing our entire lives in our country, enforcing immigration laws. And y'all was not worried about immigrants this much until Trump became president again, and the Democrats just ran their entire campaigns on hating him. So everything he does or everything he tries to enforce, you guys take it upon yourselves to try to fight back against it, to the point where you have Democrats encouraging regular everyday citizens to go out there and fight federal officers. Now that I got that point out of the way, let's get to the video point of it. I'm pretty sure many of you have already seen the video of the woman trying to run over the ICE agent. There's so many of y'all talking about he wasn't in danger, he wasn't even in the front of the car. And that is just one of the many videos that circulated everywhere. But if you pay attention, you clearly see an ICE agent in front of the vehicle. You can clearly see there's an officer standing right here, and there's an officer standing right there. And here's a clear, very clear video of a street view camera that caught this picture. Officer standing right there, officer standing literally right there, directly in the front of her vehicle. So for those of you who are saying that that officer was in no danger, are you fucking blind? I've seen people give all sorts of excuses to fit their agenda. Oh, he could have shot at the tires. Somebody is driving a vehicle towards you. In the heat of the moment, what you think somebody gonna be thinking, let me shoot the fucking tires while the car is still coming at me? Y'all are saying, oh, he wasn't standing in front of the vehicle. Well, then how was there a bullet hole picture of the bullet hole right in the front windshield? Explain that then. People are talking about if officers are running towards my car, I'm gonna be scared and try to drive off too. You forget what happened prior to her having them approach her vehicle. The fact that she was already told blocks down to stop, get out the way. But no, instead she kept driving further down and cutting them off. She was leading the revolution, as witnesses say.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic.
She was getting in their way, leading the blocking of traffic, and ICE officers asked her to remove herself. She decided not to. She decided to continue, and then she got in that situation, which eventually took her life. And let's be for real, you guys will come up with all the excuses in the world on how ICE agents shouldn't have taken her life and how this is so terrible and they're terrible. But then if she would have taken that ICE agent's life, if she would successfully have rolling over his body and he would have passed away, you guys would be celebrating the same way you celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. You guys would have told her it was a justified murder. Another excuse I'm hearing is, oh, but the wheels were turned the other way. The wheels, whether or not it was turned the other way, still ends up hitting the officer, and she tries to drive off, but he ends up shooting her before she does. Who knows that this woman wasn't gonna make a U-turn and start trampling over them with her car? You don't know that. Quite frankly, all these ICE agents are on edge, and you wonder why they're on edge? Because Democrats are constantly telling the left to go get guns and fight ICE agents. They're telling them whenever you see them, stop them, mob them. People are chanting in the streets, we must end ICE, we must shoot them.
We gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot.
This is what's being pushed out and said by the left every single day. This is what your Democrats are encouraging.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a
threat every single day on an ICE agent's life. You have people doxing ICE agents, telling them and encouraging the left to go find their children and what schools they go to. The Democrats demonize these federal officers every day, and you think they are not going to use deadly force when someone puts their life in danger? These people want to go back home to their fucking families too. You guys are out here rioting over this woman and losing your minds right now. It's giving George Floyd all over again. It's ironic that the incident supposedly happened right down the block from where George Floyd was unalive. But I find it funny how you guys will lose your minds over this, but you didn't lose your minds over Laken Riley when she was killed by that illegal migrant. You guys didn't lose your mind over that father who was decapitated in front of his family by a Cuban migrant. Jocelyn Nungari, the list goes on. You guys haven't said a damn word about those women and children that have lost their lives, fathers, by illegal migrants. But a woman chooses to put her life in danger by impeding on a federal officer's investigation and loses her life, and you guys start rioting and protesting? Maybe you guys should encourage people to mind their fucking business and stay home. Need I remind you, there are laws against this. Accelerating a vehicle towards a federal officer constitutes assault with a deadly weapon. In Minnesota, where this happened, both state and federal law enforcement officers are permitted to use deadly force, which includes shooting at a vehicle if they have a reasonable belief that it is necessary to protect themselves or others from an imminent threat or death or great bodily harm possessed by a vehicle. Yeah, that looks pretty justified to me. Will I go celebrating and cheering her death like y'all did with Charlie Kirk? Nah. I think it's tragic. I think it's unfortunate. I'm sad that her children have no mother because their mother couldn't mind her business. Do I have empathy for her children? 100%. Maybe the Democrats should stop taking this time to constantly point their fingers at the Republicans and take a look in the mirror. You are the reason why these people are going in the streets and getting involved and trying to stop federal officers from doing their jobs. There are consequences to your actions, and you do not have the right to impede on their investigations and what they're doing. In my opinion, what I think we should do in these states like Minnesota, who want to call themselves sanctuary states, and we stand with all the illegal migrants, but we don't stand with the United States citizens who died by the hands of illegal migrants, maybe we should send the worst of the worst criminals to their fucking state and let them stay there and see if they're gonna be calling ICE agents after we're done with them. Send them all there. Let them unalive the people in Minnesota. Let them take over their state. Let them turn the streets into trash. Take them into your homes. Let them do what they want with your children. So you can experience firsthand why ICE agents were hired to do the job in the first place. You guys are just way too emotional, and not one of y'all have taken the time to think rationally or logically instead of emotionally. Maybe if she wasn't there, she'd still be alive. ICE agents are on edge, and you can blame that on your Democrats because they are constantly telling you to attack them. So they're not in the mindset to try to calm the situation down. They're in the mindset of defending their lives at this point from you idiots.